Dr. Rob Bulis, question for Jean Schmidt. The question's pretty long. If you could synopsize it to about 800 words, it'd be good.
It might be longer and a little tougher. Thank you for being here. The conservative citizens of the Congressional District 2 do appreciate your votes against some very important legislation, the stimulus bill and the cap and trade. So thank you for those, and thank you for your support of House Resolution 1207 to audit the Federal Reserve, which has been long coming.
Amen.
Now, these votes could be construed as an opposition to big government, as they are, excessive taxation, and this Peruvian Keynesian theory that you can borrow and spend your way out of a recession, which we know is false. So we're seeing that today. That said, there's been a couple votes that you have voted yes for in the past years that I'd like to get your take on. Number one, during the earlier 2008 economic meltdown, you voted for TARP, and you also voted for a selective tax on the AIG executive bonuses. These votes were a bailout for the too big to fail big banks, and they were also, the second one, an unconstitutional intrusion on private contract law. These two votes suggest that perhaps, number one, you'll sacrifice your conservative principles if your Republican bosses tell you to do so, or two, that you will disregard the Constitution when it's politically expedient. So my question to you is this. As our representative from District 2, and I do live in District 2, and since you did take an honor to honor and obey the Constitution, can you look us in the eye today, the voices of America, and tell us that you will never again vote for legislation that is unconstitutional, never again vote for legislation that would extend beyond the enumerated powers of the federal government, and would never again vote for legislation that would violate private contract law?
Okay.
Good question. That's a good question.
That's a great question. And first off, it's not just simple yes or no, because, folks, I'll give you the answers, but you gotta listen to it.
Don't yell at her until she gets done. Go ahead.
Okay. Don't yell till I'm done. Okay. The Constitution, when it was written, was a very simple document. But over the last 230 some odd years, it has changed dramatically. Now, that's a fact.
It doesn't live and breathe.
Okay. Well, according to the courts, including the District 9 court, which we need to split, they believe that it does breathe. And with that,
I think it breathes in the same sense that Ted Kennedy is still breathing.
So, as much as we'd all like to have a very narrow view of the Constitution, and I agree with you, I would like to have a very narrow view of the Constitution. The courts have not allowed it, and I don't believe the present Supreme Court will stop that act. Having said that, when I have voted to uphold the Constitution with each and every vote that was taken in Congress. And you might not like to hear that, but that's the truth. Now, I have reasons for voting for the TARP. When it first came up, I voted no. But let's think about where we were a year ago this month. Think about a year ago and where we were. We were in an economic meltdown. It was worldwide.
Give the lady a chance, then boo. Go ahead, Jeannie.
All right.
Go ahead, Jeannie.
A year ago, I want you to remember where you were, where your wallet was, where your 401k was, and where the price of your house was. Now, it hasn't changed today.
Spending and more spending, and it seems they're trying to justify it by citing the so-called General Welfare Clause and/or the Commerce Clause in the Constitution. So my question is, do you agree or disagree that these constitutional words, taken in the context of the entire Constitution, actually do provide such a broad federal authority?
No, but the courts have said that they do, and we have to live with what the courts say, because they are, unfortunately, folks, they're the ultimate power. You gotta change the court.
The courts are the ultimate power? Did you just say that?
the same thing as saying the Constitution is dead. It means what it means, and the words mean what they mean, and we need to get back to
I agree with you. I totally agree with you with the General Welfare Clause. It has been expanded beyond the original scope and the responsibility of the legislators in this nation. But when you've got a court that takes this to its broadest thought,
Checks and balances on the court's turn.
I agree. And what we have to do is change the Ninth Circuit Court, which makes these ridiculous rules that you and I have to live with. If we could take the Ninth District Court and split it, you and I would be getting better results from the district courts at the federal